Here we go. Hi, I'm Zachary Cowan, the author of the Study Daily books, and thanks for joining me for a look at Doctrine and Covenants, section 61. So the elders that have gone on a mission, and Joseph Smith and Sidney Rigdon, have now started to head home back to Kirtland, and they've decided to travel on the Missouri River in a bunch of canoes. And after 3 days of travel, they've had a couple of scares. Some people have gotten stuck in some eddies and swells, and they've been a little worried and had some things that have gone wrong, and they've felt endangered. And then at the end of the heading of section 61, we learned that W. Phelps even at one point saw a vision or an image of the destroyer riding upon the water. Well, that unnerved them, and they're all a little scared. So they've pulled off to the side of the river, and Joseph inquires of the Lord, and they get this revelation back. At this point in their life, they're all feeling like exactly what they're feeling, powerless. What many of us have felt in our lives when scary things happen. We feel a loss of power. And now the question is who really has power? So as you read the next following verses, you're going to pause your video and check out some of these verses in section 61. Look for this. What does it teach you about the power of Jesus Christ and his influence on our life? So look for the power of Jesus Christ in the following verses. See you in a minute. Hey, thanks for studying. So as you saw, it comes back, verse 1 starts off that God has all power, and then you get additional verses like verse 6 where he says, look, all flesh is in my hands. I'm going to take care of you. Those who are faithful, quit being so afraid. We're going to be all right. I remember when I was younger, I always thought like there was this conversation about why can't missionaries swim? Is it the devil has power over the water or something like that? And then I remember reading this section and realizing, oh, it's that God has cursed the waters in the last days, that sometimes things that are for our blessing become different, and different seasons and different times. And yet, even when the waters are cursed, the Lord says, look, guess what? I'm still in control of them. And if you're faithful, you're going to be okay. There are tragedies that happen. There are things that go on. But by and large, those who have confidence in Jesus Christ have his power over them, and he's in their hands, and he takes care of them. Well, who was the destroyer that he saw? Sometimes people think maybe it was a devil or something that was riding upon the waters. Well, in Revelation chapter 8, it's an angel that God said is down here. Well, that's a really interesting thing, but still know that God has power over all of those things, and those who are on God's side have God's power, which is a remarkable thing. That today, in whatever it is that we're afraid of or that we feel powerless against, let's get on God's side, and we will have God's power, and he can help us and preserve us and move us forward with his Spirit to do that. The rest of this section then starts to give us some instruction about canoes and canals and traveling and going to Cincinnati and bearing testimony and some of these details, and yet not all of them. And at one point God says, like, it doesn't even matter to me how you choose to travel. We've got lots of details, we've got lots of travels, and a lot of our daily life is consumed with the details of travel and what we're going to do and how we're going to spend our time. And amidst all of that, the Lord says, let me give you a few verses to remind you of how I'm in the very details of your details and how to help you with this. Hey, thanks for studying. In our lives, when we feel powerless and we feel like things are out of control and that we're in danger, these words provide great comfort to be of good cheer and to not be afraid, and to know that Jesus Christ is in our midst and he will help us. And if we are humble, he will get us through the devastating, dangerous details of each day and lead us to more powerful moments that we can be prepared and we can be powerful because we are on God's side. I hope you get to go experience that today. Let's go practice these things. Let's face the danger with power from God.